Growing up, I always heard that I was the thick one. Dumb genetic luck, you could call it. But I don't feel like I'm thick. I suppose if I was smarter, I wouldn't be a stand-in, but... Stand-in. Translation, a space filler for someone more famous, more established, more beautiful than I am. Yeah, I suppose I ought to get a husband and a good job somewhere, but I just can't bring myself to do it. My sister lives in Virginia with her husband and a set of twins. She's just a year older than me. And every time I talk to her, she's exhausted. Oh, the twins kept me up all night. My husband needs me to do everything. And then without batting an eye, she tells me, you ought to get settled down, live like I do. Don't you want this? Don't I want what? To live like you do? I might be thick, but at least I'm not thick and tired. I might be thick, but at least I sleep 8 hours a night.
Yesterday, didn't I?
That's right. Yesterday was my first day on the lot.
Ah, you an actress?
Not exactly.
Background, then.
I'm not usually on camera, but...
I don't know why not. You certainly have the face for it.
Now you're the one being kind.
Quit talking to customers to death and ask her what she wants, will you? I'm working up the specials board back here.
You're the boss, Denny. Well, whatever you're doing for this picture, I'm sure the first day on the picture is always very exciting.
I suppose so. You know, I've been doing it for such a long time, it's hard to get me too excited, but this job is pretty exciting.
All right,
yeah.
see? Specials board's up and ready for the day.
Really looks great, Denny.
Well, thank you, Ann.
So, what can I get you for breakfast? Sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, Evie. That's what my friends call me. It's not my professional name.
Oh, well, we're not professionals, so nice to meet you, Evie. I'm Em.
Yeah, it's not a real name either.
Oh, Denny, go make yourself presentable before the breakfast rush starts.
Hey, who owns this place again?
Oh, go on. Oh, dear. So, were we actually having a civilized conversation at some point, or does my memory betray me? You said this was your first day on the set?
Yeah. And I was actually pretty excited for this one yesterday because of who I get to work with again, but then things did not go according to plan, so...
Well, you know how to make God laugh, don't you?
Telling me plans?
I was going to say knock-knock jokes, but yours is much better, come to think of it. So, what did not go according to plan?
Well, my job is to be on set while the actress is still in makeup, so they can, test the lighting and the angles and things on me, so when she gets to set, they're all ready.
You're a stand-in.
Right. Well, the thing about being a stand-in is that there has to be someone there for you to stand in for.
And your star was a no-show.
A no-show, which meant no work for me, which meant no pay voucher, which means I probably shouldn't even be looking at the menu right now.
Oh, you don't worry about that. You're here now. You're going to be working on that picture for who knows how long, and I can tell right now you're going to be an excellent customer. So, what can I get you for breakfast?
French toast?
French toast. Good choice. Denny!
What?
French toast!
She paying?
Fine. I'll fix it myself.
Good old Ann in her studio strays. She's had a soft spot in her heart for you folks ever since her big heyday.
Oh, she was an actress?
One of the best character actresses in the business. She even worked with Judy Garland on this little film. Might have seen it.
You mean Wizard of Oz. Oh my, is that why you call her M?
You're pretty sharp for a blonde.
Okay. Well, you can make jokes, but it's on account of it that I have a job at all. You know, I was an extra on a big movie several years ago, and they were about to fire me because the lead had it in her contract that she had to be the only blonde. But then our makeup artist spotted me and noticed that we were the same height and everything, and 3 pictures later, here I am.
Life's a funny thing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, what is it you really want to do?
What do you mean?
A little lady, I've been sitting across from that lot for a decade, give or take, and few and far between are those who aren't doing one thing just so that they can do something else in show business, if you gather my meaning.
I don't.
You said I could make blonde jokes, right?
Okay. Well, I think I know what you mean, but I'm not an actress, and I never will be, so instead I get to be on these glamorous movie sets with these beautiful, famous people, and I never have to worry about bad reviews or forgetting my lines. Plus, you know there's free food on most sets.
Yeah, well, you put it that way. Hey,
Yeah.
where's Molly already?
Oh, I'm sure she's on her way in. Now you shut your yapper, mister, and get to work.
Who's Molly?
It's one of our waitresses.
Oh, you're not the waitress?
Oh, no, dear. I'm just here for my charming personality. That, plus I see people. Seat yourself, dear. Counter's open. Thank you.
French toast will be up in a minute. So, tell me, Little Miss Evie. How'd things strike you over there at the studio lot?
What do you mean?
You just wait for Jimmy to stop by. He'll give you the scoop.
I don't trust Jimmy as far as I can throw him. I went straight from the horse's mouth.
Horse's mouth. Denny, you are a tribute to our entire organization.
Look, everybody knows that they've been struggling over there the last couple of years. They got more flops than that fat kid in the swimming pool. You know, now I hear that there's things about this FUBAR Egyptian girl movie. They're saying that it might ruin the whole studio, and if the studio goes down, we go down with it. But I hear tell that they also might be selling off some of the land around the lot, land like this very piece of property on which we stand. Which I could only lease from Fox because they had a soft spot in their heart for the veterans. So you see, I'm really just putting feelers out to see what I might get back as to what is or isn't going to happen. So, what do you say?
Oh, well, sir, you know, I just stand where the light is.
Denny, why don't you go make sure that toast isn't burning already, huh?
Yeah.
Good morning, Walter. How nice to see you again.
And it's nice just to be seen.
Sorry, dear. He'll be right with you. And how is it coming in the latest script, Walter?
Same as always, just putting words in the mouth of babes. No Molly this morning?
Oh, I'm sure she's on her way in. Denny!
Yeah.
Walter's here!
Yeah, coming up.
Oh, have you two had a chance to meet?
No, I don't believe so, but you do look familiar.
I'm Evie. I'm a stand-in for
I know who you're a stand-in for, believe me. Shame you got sent home yesterday, but that's what happens.
I know.
So you two are working on the same picture.
You know, it's her first movie in over a year.
Really? Has it been that long?
She got divorced and...
Oh, right. Walter, did you know her husband?
This one? No.
No, I thought maybe you...
No. Excuse me, I need to make a phone call.
Why would he know her husband?
Oh, well, Walter is the screenwriter on your movie.
And they all know each other?
Well, Walter was on the,
I want to rub.
Thank you.
Hey, can you help out until Molly gets in?
Excuse me, Denny, are you forgetting something?
What?
You have customers who've been waiting very patiently while we finished up our bantering
Breakfast
and
lunch
battering,
is gonna
so
start
why
any
don't you
minute,
see
huh?
what she wants?
No, got
That
table
would be a good
space.
reason to take her order now rather than
Is
later.
at a premium during the breakfast rush.
If you had already served her, that wouldn't be a concern.
Damn it, Em. Can't you see I have enough to deal with here? We got plenty of customers. I'm gonna like it if they see her here.
Maybe I don't want regular customers who feel that way.
That's not your decision to make. It's out of your control. That's the way it is.
Well, if that aluminum company is turning everything into fancy office buildings, what does it matter anyway? I do apologize for that, dear. Now what can I get for you?
Thank you, but I just thought I'd have some coffee.
Just coffee? Do you know where you are?
I don't mean to cause any trouble. My bus dropped me off early
You work around here.
in the cafeteria at the studio.
Ah,
They're not open yet.
no, I know. We count on that for our breakfast rush. I'll get you that coffee. You just sit real tight.
Thank you.
Hey,
Good morning, Jimmy.
coffee, black, please.
All right. Here you go, and behave yourself.
You know, sweetheart, I always come in here every morning for a little, eye opener, and somehow I find my eyes open a little wider today. Have we met?
I don't think so. But I've only been coming in here since yesterday.
Well, then yesterday was the greatest day of my life. Until today. What's that you're reading?
To Kill a Mockingbird.
I wouldn't take you to be a hunter.
Oh, it's not a hunting book. It's a...
First-person narrative from the eyes of a little girl as she watches her father defend a Negro in a small southern town. You know, come to think of it, I have heard of it.
Are you making fun of me?
No. Why would I make fun of someone who shares my taste in literature? What part are you at?
Something about a dog? I don't really know where it's going.
It's symbolism. Why don't you talk to me when you finish that chapter?
Maybe I will.
Well, you never did tell me your name.
Evie.
Evie, Jimmy. What brings you here?
Work?
Work, you're a working girl. You know, I like to see that. Any chance you work across the street?
You know, I do. It's a new movie, just started shooting.
It's funny you mentioned movies because, you know, you remind me of someone. Can you guess who I'm thinking?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I'm very familiar with her work both on and off screen, so you can take me at my word. In fact, you put on a few more pounds, you'd be a dead ringer for Maryland.
Monroe?
None other.
That is who I'm a stand-in for.
You don't say.
It's her first movie in a while. Something's gotta give.
You know, it rings a bell.
I worked with her on her last 3 pictures, but then she went on break. So, I'm just glad to be back to work.
Yeah, I can imagine. Hey, tell me, how are things going over there? Any, incidents from America's favorite bombshell?
Well, you know, I probably shouldn't be talking about it.
Well, you know, you can trust me, honey. I'm with the press.
I am with the press. One of the most terrifying words in the English language.
All right, there's the man I wanted to see. Excuse me, sweetheart. Listen, Walter, I'm on your side here, all right? This Liz and Dick thing is getting old. Sales are way down. And I'm not in Italy to give my first-person spin. Now, I've got to put some good old-fashioned Hollywood news on those newsstands. And you and I both know that I do that. It helps you and yours get your movie out there, so what do you say?
You should try the Eggs Benedict.
Hey, Jimmy, I catch you harassing my customers, and I'll thump your skull just for good measure.
Don't blame me, Denny. Blame the 50,000 readers who eat this stuff up. Besides, I can't help it if the best gossips in town choose your establishment to stuff their faces and run their mouths.
You just give the people what they want. Is that it, Jimmy?
You know, it's as simple and innocent as all of that, Walter.
They had a similar philosophy in ancient Rome when feeding people to the lions before a cheering crowd.
And now, am I the Lions or am I the Romans in that scenario?
When I picture it, you'd be the grizzle between the lion's teeth.
Not bad. That was clever. Did you come up with that, or was it one of your fronts?
It's on account of people like you that people like me needed someone else to pretend they wrote my stuff.
And by people like you, do mean comrades.
That's it, Jimmy.
All
Come on,
right.
out, get out.
Thanks for the coffee. One last question for you, Walter. Are you now, or have you ever been about to rewrite the script because your star's in the downward spiral?
You know, I fought in a big war there, Walter. And I know there's a lot of complicated stuff going on back there, but one thing I took away, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And the commies fought the Jerrys. So my simple-minded conclusion is that commies can be our friends too. And that extends to you too. And I don't care what list your name was on.
Thanks, Denny. I appreciate it. And thank you for breakfast, but I should really get myself going. Actually, I'd like to order a coffee.
Will you get that, Molly?
Coming! Sorry! Hello? Oh, yes, All right. Sure thing, dear. Walter, that was the studio looking for you. I guess they're expecting Miss Monroe at any minute now.
Means they'll be needing me too.
Right.
Thank you so much, Em. I'll see you tomorrow, I hope.
Oh, I'll be here. And Walter, you make sure Miss Evie finds her way to the stage, all right?
Or the boss, Em.
Shall we?
After you.
Was it something I said?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you. I don't know how she had the courage.
What, to singing happy birthday?
Singing in Madison Square Garden in front of all those people?
And not to mention all the ones watching on TV.
Right, I mean, it's one thing on a movie set, you just have the director and the crew, but I don't know how she does things like that.
It does take courage, like you said.
Yeah, it takes courage, but not for the reason you think, Em.
What are you trying to say, James?
Well, let's just say that Miss Monroe's been known to make more private appearances in front of the president.
Now, James.
That isn't true. The president's a married man. She would never be with a married man.
That's not what I heard.
Thank you, Molly.
What have you been reading?
Jimmy's column.
And I know from which I speak.
No, you don't. You don't know anything about her, Jimmy. To you, she's just another bombshell that you can sell your photos of. Excuse me. I have work to do.
Yeah, assuming she didn't call in sick with another sinus infection she caught in New York. What?
Don't you have someplace else you need to be right about now?
No? No.
Find one.
Yes.
Can I get anything out of your way?
Yes, all done. Thank you.
Sorry.
I get a little nervous when people look over my shoulder. You can understand.
I can. I do. It's just... Oh, hi. I'll be with you in a minute. Just seat yourself.
I had a question for Mr. For the one who cooks.
Oh, Denny? He'll pop his head out any minute now. He's just in the back fixing a sink. Have a seat.
I'll wait. Thank you.
Well, what I meant to say was... I was looking through an old magazine I found on the bus. It was from a year ago. And there was an ad from a movie I remember seeing. And I looked down, and all of a sudden, I saw the actors' names in that... You wrote it.
Oh.
It was such amazing writing, really. And I think what you do is incredible.
Thank you.
It was the one in Paris with the two musicians, Paul Newman and that Negro actor who's so good. I mean, he's just so good as an actor. I mean, not a Negro or anything, just so good. Well, that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Molly. That's nice of you.
Well, I meant it.
You know what's funny?
What?
One of the girls, the one Joanne played, it was supposed to be Marilyn.
You must have been so disappointed.
Well, I can't say it mattered much, really.
Why's that?
Actors are, how do I put this? They're like pottery. Some are painted, some are plain, others have pretty flowers, and some have potash. It doesn't matter what you put in them, they're all to a certain extent hollow. And Monroe's a prime example. If you look at the You're an actress, aren't you?
Whatever gave you that idea?
It could be the look of utter disdain at the moment, but then I'm used to that.
I just don't understand how you could say such a thing about Paul Newman.
Look, excuse me. I don't mean to be rude, but I couldn't help but overhear. You're that writer, mister? The one who wrote the movie about the white and black musicians in Paris?
That's right.
Oh, I thought it was a beautiful movie too. Maybe when I hop on a plane and go to France myself. All the things there just seemed so bright, and the music was so... Oh, I can't go to Paris, of course, myself, but I go to clubs here in the city all the time, and once, well, I heard this happen. Marilyn Monroe heard that they wouldn't book Ella Fitzgerald down at the Macumbo Club, and Miss Monroe called the club owners herself and said that if they booked Ella, that she would come down every night just to give good press.
Is that true?
That's what I heard. That's all.
Oh, here he is. Denny, someone here to see you.
Oh. Can I help you?
I
I've got all day, kid.
The man in cafeteria, he wanted to know if he could borrow your meatloaf recipe.
Borrow?
The meatloaf.
He wants to borrow my recipe? You borrow a lawnmower or you borrow a cup of sugar? Let me tell you something. That leech, he's been sending people over here for years to try to spy on my menu. And now he doesn't even do me the decency of hiding it. He just sends his help right on over to ask me to my face. It's worse than when he was sneaking around. Yeah, he's a dirty little leech, and you're not much better now. Get out!
I need to...
Take it easy, Denny.
Stay out of this, Molly! Get out! I didn't mean you too, Walt.
Oh, that's all right. I'm due on set soon. Thanks as always, Denny.
Wow. Looks like things have calmed down a little out here.
Yeah, now that Tolstoy is gone.
You mean Walter?
Yeah, Walter.
That Tolstoy crack, was that because of the blacklist?
It was, Em. I'm sorry. I know you hate all that Red Scare stuff.
Well, it was a very difficult time to be in Hollywood, dear, and nobody knows that better than Walter. Do you know how he got on that list?
No.
His girlfriend named him. Oh, she had gotten herself under suspicion somehow. And she found a little membership card from a club that he had joined in college. So she turned him over to spare herself. And that little card sealed Walter's fate for almost 10 years. I forget what happened to that girl. Still acting, I imagine, but I haven't heard of her in some time.
She was an actress?
That's right. Why?
No reason.
Well, she was lucky to have a man like Walter, but then any girl would be. Now, I'm sure Walter pales in comparison to that slickster you've been seeing.
It's no big deal, Em. He's just a producer.
Oh, they're all producers, dear. It's just a question of what do they produce.
I know you haven't been in the business for a long time, but this is the way things are now. This is what girls are expected to do.
Oh, Molly. Oh. Listen, Molly. The world history is littered with people who did what they were expected to do. That doesn't mean that you need to be one of them. The good book says, test everything. Hold on to the good and avoid every kind of evil. You remember that, child?
What's that, Em?
Oh, just some vitamins, dear. Back to work.
No, you should come in. The water's so refreshing. After, you finish. To come in. The water's so refreshing after you finish, you know.
Evening.
Forget it, Jimmy. I don't have any dirt for you. Look, I don't know why you have it in for her so much, but if you really knew her, you'd know that she just wants to be treated like a normal human being.
What's on the shooting schedule for tomorrow, Evie?
I'm certainly not telling you that.
Well, you don't have to, because I know it's the full shoot, and do not tell me that I'm wrong.
So what if it is?
Are you aware that your normal human being friend has invited a couple of photographers to set? Its word is that she's going to bear it all for the camera.
Oh, that is disgusting. No real human movie star has ever done that. Not for a real movie, anyway. Maybe just for the kind you like.
I'm a Fellini fan myself,
I know.
thanks.
Are you really? Me too.
Yeah, but don't you think? It's what I aspire to.
I bet.
Look, the fact is, she's already invited the Shutterbugs, and once word gets out, it's going to be a pretty crowded set. One more camera she is not going to notice. So are you going to help me out?
She really is just an object to you, isn't she? Something you can use to further your own career.
It is a mutually beneficial arrangement so
Sure.
far as she is concerned. All right, she makes herself the target of stuff like this.
Because you're always there to take the shot. But if you stopped and thought for a second about your part in all of this, you'd realize that you can choose to be better than what your job asks of you.
So I am getting lectured on rising above my position by a stand-in.
Stand-ins are very important for a film set. They save loads of time for the director and for the cameraman.
Sure,
And
Evie, it is an important job, but do you really want to be known for the rest of your life as a placeholder? I mean, you're nothing but glorified set dressing. You're telling me that there is nothing else inside of you.
I may be set dressing, but at least when I go to set, I don't have to sneak on. And I don't spend my time taking photos for degenerates to fawn over.
Believe what you like, Evie, but I am a journalist.
So was Scout.
Who?
Harper Lee, the real woman. She started out as a journalist too, but then she realized that she had something special deep inside of her, and she didn't stop until she found it.
Okay, so instead of taking naked pictures of the world's biggest movie star, you want for me to look within myself and win a Pulitzer. Gee, thanks. I'll get right on that.
Have you ever thought to try?
I've got a good thing going with this job, Evie.
Sure.
I am good at what I do, all right? And people like Marilyn are not worth me throwing that away. None of them are.
Who's them?
Those movie stars, right? Those women who manipulate everyone around them so that they can stay on top. I have seen it time and time again.
I bet you see a lot hiding in the bushes with your camera. But from where I stand, she's just a person. She's a decent person.
No, that may be the case. But so long as she's putting herself out there on the market, I'm going to be an interested party. So what do you say? Look, no one is getting hurt here.
Look, you wouldn't make any trouble tomorrow, would you? And you wouldn't say who'll let you on the lot.
Wild horses couldn't compel me.
I'll see what I can do.
That's my girl.
What?
What?
What did you just call me?
It's just an expression.
Okay. Oh, I think they're closed.
I just want a word.
Denny's in the back, maybe.
Okay, I'll wait.
Tell you what, I really ought to get going. Walk into your bus.
Sure.
All right, lock it up. Get out of bed down.
Good night.
One. A little late for espionage, isn't it?
I just came to
Look, look, sweetheart. It's kind of late for me to explain my policy regarding sharing my recipes with the competition. So why don't you just spare us both and just go home?
I tried. I couldn't take my normal bus.
You know, why that?
Full up with white people. All the way to the back.
Yeah, well, that's a shame, isn't it?
Well, you didn't have a whites only sign, and I figured at least I wouldn't get arrested if I came in.
Of course you're not going to get arrested. Look, it's just business, you know? I served with plenty of Negroes in the war. I just can't afford to stir up trouble, that's all.
Well, I'm not looking to start a sit-in. Just the sit part would be plenty.
You can go ahead and sit down while I lock up. Isn't anybody around, I think, I guess. Listen, I just was about to throw away some leftovers. Are you hungry?
I suppose there won't be too much to ask for. You got any soul food handy?
Well, Ed likes to say the food we serve is good for the soul. You know, grains, farm fresh eggs, meat, you name it.
Oh, no, I mean real soul food. Grits, chitlins, pickled pig feet, barbecue chicken, fried catfish, baby back ribs, meatloaf.
I don't like to brag, but I do make a pretty darn good meatloaf.
How good?
Bell peppers,
And evaporated milk,
eggs, tomato sauce.
crackers, and steak sauce.
Yeah, only the sweet and tangy
Of
kind.
course.
And plenty of ketchup.
Oh, and a glaze of dark syrup with brown sugar.
How is it? It's a 11:45. I've been looking at food all day, and only just now you got me thinking of eating.
My recipes have that effect on people.
And we're closed.
Terribly sorry to put you good folks out. I'm just wondering if I may wait in here for my ride.
Don't tell me you are all folk lost your seat too.
No, madame, it's just that my car service is running a little late and I'm not too popular around these parts.
Why's that?
An ongoing dispute with the studio relating to my marriage.
Why is the studio involved in your marriage? I mean, that's a new one even for me.
Won't bore you with the details. Suffice to say that my wife is more so your persuasion. You was.
Well, why would they care so much?
Don't you know who you're talking to?
Oh. Oh, I see what's going on here.
Well, there are times that my reputation...
You're another one of those stand-ins, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Makes perfect sense.
I read how you and your wife stood up to those bigwigs. It's a damn shame more people don't have that kind of backbone.
Well, me and my wife, we aren't too special. We just often believe that we only have two choices. Your commitment versus your fear.
I can't say I ever saw fear as much of an option.
But then I'd say go with your instincts, if I may be so bold, sir. It's my car now. Miss, can I offer you a lift?
That's awfully damn tempting, sir, but this man still owes me some meatloaf.
But then I bid you fine folks adieu. With my many thanks. Thank you, sir.
And those stand-ins are getting bigger and bigger heads all the time.
Oh, evening, Evie. What'll it be, dear?
Couldn't eat a thing, not after what happened today.
Oh, calm down. It can't be all that bad.
I just thought it would be nice after everything for the whole crew to celebrate her birthday.
Whose birthday?
Marilyn's.
Oh, my.
I told Jimmy that I was going to bring in a sheet cake for today, and I had my friend make a card with her picture on it, and Jimmy and I thought it would be funny if the card said, "Happy Birthday, Suit." And then my friend decided to draw a picture of Marilyn, you know.
Hey, you don't still happen to have that card by any chance?
Hush, Denny. Go on, Evie.
Okay. Then Mr. Kuker, the director, he didn't want to stop shooting for cake, so we had to wait till the last scene. So I got to go around and have all my friends sign the card, and then when the shooting was done, we brought everything out.
Was Marilyn mad about it?
No, she thought it was hilarious, but when Mr. Kuker and the studio people saw it, it started this whole big thing. I mean, he was still mad that she went to go sing for the president because it stopped shooting. And then the studio people started in on the pictures by the pool and how inappropriate they were because she was nude.
Hey, do they ever need food delivered to this set of yours?
Dirty.
And then everyone is arguing. Mr. Cuker and Dean Martin were at each other's throats, and the studio people were being so mean to Marilyn, and so she
What did she do?
She just left. I think they're gonna fire her.
After all the trouble she's caused, it's no wonder.
Denny, why don't you go deep fry something, huh?
Excuse me, I just need the phone.
Walter, what happened? You must know something.
No, nothing to be sure yet, Edie, but the studio brass is up in arms about there. They think she's out of control. They're gonna meet more on Monday to talk about it, but I don't know.
It's all my fault.
Edie, this had nothing to do with you. The cake was just the match that lit the fuse on this. It could have been anything. So excuse me, I need to call my agent.
That was with the waterworks, gorgeous.
That's nothing. I probably shouldn't say.
And after all that we've been through, I kept my end of the deal. The full shoot didn't mention your name, not even once.
Did they catch you? Is that why you never printed your photos of her?
No, I just couldn't get a good angle is all.
Well, you were right about her posing. I don't know why she did that.
Maybe she's just one of those rare women who's difficult to figure out.
Are you being funny?
Am I? Did you finish the book?
Yeah, it was actually
The
really
word's
good.
out from the studio, and it does not look good for
Doesn't
it.
look good for what, Walter? Is Fox finally lowering the boom on Monroe? Has Cuker had enough antics? Was it the pull shoot? Is she doing more nude shots? Give me something, Wally.
No comment.
Look, I've heard enough to run this story already, but a quote from you could really push this above the fold. Really get the word out, speed things up, you know?
The man said no comment, James.
You're afraid. You're afraid that you're not going to find any more work. You have to dust off that old pseudonym. Tell me, how are the other comrades from the list faring these days?
Are we having a party out here or something? I thought the rush was over.
Nah, we're all good then.
Is that so there, Walter?
Fine. It's fine. I have to go.
Yeah.
You don't want some pie or something?
I've been talking with another director for a while now about a new project, and I need to get started on that just in case. So I will see you all later.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm gonna call this in.
No, Jimmy, please don't.
Don't. That's a hot scoop, babe. I'm ahead of everyone thanks to you.
Look, you know that if you report this and it gets out, that'll be it for Marilyn.
You know, somehow I think she's gonna be okay. And so are you, all right?
No, this isn't about me. Look, she's not well, okay? She's been taking pills all the time and she gets these injections.
Those are just hot shots, all right? Look, all the major stars get them when they're on set.
She's not sleeping much. I don't know what something like this will do to her.
You are her stand-in, not her doctor. Excuse me.
And will you talk to him?
James is going to have to choose his own path, dear. None of us can force that on him.
Yeah, sound advice, Sam.
She's just a bird, you know? Like in the book.
No, it's not that simple.
What does he say about killing one? What does he call it?
No, it's different when the bird prefers to sing from her cage.
Busy morning.
It sure is, but I'm not complaining.
No, I imagine not. You seem to be picking up more shifts than usual. Why is that?
Well, ever since I stopped seeing Victor,
Oh, good riddance to him.
well, ever since then, I've had to pay for my own acting classes. They don't come cheap. But I did have a table today, and one of the gentlemen left me his card. He's a casting director. He says he has a role in mind for me for one of his films.
Of that I have no doubt. Denny, what have you got back there? A wild stallion?
You just keep to the front of the house, Sam. I'm reorganizing things a little.
I don't know what's gotten into him lately. He seems to be working late hours, has very interesting new recipe ideas, and doesn't seem to want anybody else in the kitchen. Oh, well, she is alive after all.
Hi. Good morning, Molly.
Welcome back, Evie.
Sorry I haven't been in lately. Ever since last week, I haven't been called back to the set.
Oh.
Have you seen Walter at all?
He's been in most mornings, but he hasn't said much.
Huh.
How are you holding up, dear?
Oh, I'm fine. Luckily, working up to this week, I've managed to save enough to get by for a little longer, but after that, I'll be hurting for money again.
Well, there might be something we could do about that.
Really? Like what?
Oh, we'll talk, but meanwhile, what can we get for you? The usual?
That'd be great.
Hi, Denny!
What?
Evie's here!
French toast coming up.
Hey. Walter!
Hello, Walter.
You know, folks, it's said. There are two types of journalists in this world. There are the ones who report the news, and then there are the ones who make the news.
Who is it that has said this exactly?
Unimportant. What is important is that as of today, word has come down from 20th century brass, and Marilyn Monroe is fired.
You are happy to take credit for this, of course.
Yeah, I think we all know what got the ball rolling. The pen, as they say, is mightier than the sword.
Where does the sword fit into this scenario?
Why do I even come in here? None of you appreciate the triumph of the press.
Triumph at what? Destroying a woman's career?
You know, somehow I think she's gonna be okay. Listen, Eve.
Don't touch me. Don't talk to me. I can't believe that I... Excuse me.
So do you have to write a new script for someone else?
Well, no, actually, I won't be working on the production anymore.
Oh.
Well, Walter, you know you're welcome back here anytime, no matter where you're working.
Thank you, Emma. It's meant a lot for me to be able to come in here. I'm still not all that welcome in certain circles.
Order's up.
I'm afraid I'll need my check quickly. Need to clean out my office before they toss it.
Sure thing, Walter.
Donald Mills. Friend of yours?
Yeah. Just the table I had this morning. Says they can help me with my career.
I see. I'm familiar with Don.
You are?
Only by reputation. He doesn't exactly work on top-shelf productions.
Well, not everyone can work with Dean Martin on every picture. That's nothing to be ashamed of.
Don's got plenty he should be ashamed of. I don't think he's bothered by that.
If you have something to say, then why don't you just say it?
I don't know if it's what I say or how I say it, but when I share my opinions, you tend to get upset, so why don't I just mind my own business?
You know, I'm trying to get my career started.
And this is how that needs to happen? Getting friendly with D-list producers?
Well, that's just how people do it. Look at Marilyn.
That's just how people do it. Now, you sound just like the rest of them.
Them? Do you mean one of your empty vases?
No, worse than that. It's like you're a character, and you're just following the stage directions and letting someone else write your story for you when you should be writing your own story. And you're better than that, Molly. I don't know you well, but I know that. Oh, naturally I don't have
I think
enough
I've had
for-
all the tips I can take from you. Have a good day.
Well, and thanks for everything. Tell Denny I don't know what new recipe he's working on, but it looks great.
Yeah, same goes for the French toast.
Well, maybe those new recipes account for all that racket back there, but Walter, take good care.
Wally. You come across a hot tip anytime, you let me know, all right? I'll make it worth your while.
And you take care too. Jimmy, go to hell!
Know watch your language on that one?
Oh, just not as fast on the draw as I used to be.
Yeah.
Molly, what has you looking like a cat that ate a canary?
Oh, it's nothing, Em. Come on out!
There's no one here, just a newspaper fellow.
Nice to meet you too.
Hello, all.
Hello, Denny and Miss Sheila, is that right? That's correct, ma'am. Nice to have you join us. Thank you. Molly, what is so funny about our new staff member?
Oh, nothing. I just happened to walk in on them while they were dancing.
Not dancing.
No, we were just battering a chicken, getting ready for frying. You know, when you use a brown paper bag, you gotta really shake it like you mean it. That's what I was trying to show Denny here.
I was shaking just fine.
It looked that way to me. But Denny, since when have you let anyone into the kitchen with you?
Yeah, let alone a woman of color.
Yeah, well, you try a fried okra, then you can talk.
But why all the secrecy?
Molly, you had to ask?
It's just a temporary situation, right, Sheila?
Well, don't know how temporary. I still gotta work at the cafeteria at the studio, and I don't think they take too kindly of me being here too. So I guess it's all right for now.
Tell you what, you keep the breakfast half as good as today and you won't hear any complaints from me.
Hey, you're gonna keep this to yourself for now, right, Jimmy?
Gee, I don't know, Denny. Should I write about the redhead scene with JFK in New York last night or the colored kitchen hand at LA Diner? That's a tough one. Pick up a paper tomorrow and find out.
Is he gone?
Oh, he is, dear, but unfortunately, so is your breakfast.
It's okay, I'm not that hungry.
Well, that's just because you haven't tried the new batter. Come on, Denny, let's get another batch going.
I think I'll just go and keep an eye on her in the kitchen.
I think I'd like to watch this.
I don't know why I get so upset over Jimmy. I don't know why I get so upset over this movie in general.
Well, when you feel that someone isn't living up to their God-given potential, it's natural to feel disappointment.
I mean, it is his job after all.
I wasn't just talking about James, dear. What about you, Edie? Is this what you want for your life?
Trust me, there is literally nothing else I've been good at up to this point.
No, that's not true. No, you're good at many things. You take care of those around you. You can make someone's day positively luminous, and you see the good in people.
Well, that just means I've been taking from you, Em. You remind me of her in that way, you know? Even after all she's been through, she's still so hopeful.
Well, I guess we all have that in common, that plus our sex appeal.
And even when she's at her best, I can tell that she's in pain and she's hiding it.
I'm not following you, dear.
What's wrong, Em? I see it gets you when you think nobody's looking. You take your pills the same time every day. Marilyn's the same way with her doctor's medication. I'm not trying to say that you have what she has, but I can tell you're dealing with something. Whatever it is, you don't have to face it alone.
Alone is never the way I do things, dear. I just get picky between looking for help from the real world or someplace else. The Lord looks to prosper us, Evie, not to harm us. And our ways are not His ways.
Try to remember that.
If you should forget, I think they've written all this down in a book somewhere. Now, if you'll excuse me, I hear some cutlery calling my name. How did that feel?
Oh, opening the diner for the first time? I don't know. At least we know the keys work, right?
Well, there you ladies are. I thought I'd have to open up without you.
That'll be the day.
And there's our star chef herself. I was looking over this specials board you left me last night. Getting kind of bold with these choices, aren't you?
Well, I think people are ready for something different.
Well, maybe you're right. Speaking of which, I was thinking.
I'll try not to act too surprised.
Very funny. Yeah, well, look, you know, I was...
I'm here. I'm coming. I'm sorry. I overslept. I was up late.
What was his name?
Thornton Wilder, if you must know.
Those beat nicknames are getting weirder and weirder all the time.
That's a writer, Denny.
I know. Isn't he a little old for you?
I think she means she was up late reading.
That's what I meant.
Why didn't you just say that? I'm gonna hire a man for a change, make life easier.
So, what did Denny think of the specials?
They were a hit.
Congratulations, Sheila. You are going to be running things in no time.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
You have revolutionized this place. Trust me, I'm making the most money off it. I should know.
Well, I hope it's going to good use.
Well, I hope so too. Actually, I'm
Hello.
Walter.
Hey, Sheila, I need to talk to you back here, please.
Well, I can see the morning rush is beginning already. I best go man the grill. Excuse me.
Would you like your usual table?
If you can still call it that. I haven't been around in what?
Almost 2 months since they fired Marilyn. Just a sec. Oh, Denny!
Yeah?
Walter!
Oh, you don't say. Well, I'll see if I can remember.
So, you were saying?
Oh, never mind. How are things with you? Did you ever get together with that casting director?
No. I just couldn't bring myself to call him. Every time I looked at his card, I kept thinking about what you said about writing.
I'm sorry for what I said the last time I saw you. I had no place to judge you or preach at you. It was ridiculous for me to use writing as some sort of grand metaphor. You can judge clearly from me that people who write are nothing but deranged, borderline antisocial malcontents who have no business put... You mean you're a writer now, don't you?
What gave it away? Was it my look of utter disdain?
That's the one. Look, I should go in. I'll come back later.
No, thank you.
What?
I have been writing every day since you said that. I know you meant it as a metaphor, but it got me thinking.
Well, metaphors are good in that way.
Exactly. And Emma's always preaching about how you have to be the answers to your own prayers and stuff. And I thought that instead of waiting for someone to give me the wrong opportunity, I could make my own. Well, at least that's the plan anyway. But, you see, the thing about writing is it's kind of, well, hard.
Did I leave that part out of the metaphor?
I have all of these ideas, but I really could use some input from someone who really knows their stuff. Someone whose opinion I know I could trust.
You're in luck.
I am?
I happen to know several writers who teach seminars on the basics. I could recommend some really top-notch teachers. I'm sure they could help you.
That would be wonderful. Thanks. Oh, so what's this new project you're working on?
Oh, well, the truth is I can't discuss the project outright.
I thought maybe it was the Marilyn film.
Actually, I do have a bit of news on that. If you still see Evie at all.
Oh, she's around. Just give me a minute.
Oh, Jimmy! Jimmy.
Oh, hey, well.
Hang on, no, I'm trying to think of a way to tell you just how much I have missed you.
Yeah, well.
Morning, Walter. Nice to see you again.
Oh, and it's nice just to be seen. Evie,
Hello, Walter.
do all of our customers get a tour of the kitchen now?
Only the ones who come to work for us. Evie is going to take over for us part-time for now.
Lovely. Well, actually, I had a bit of good news I wanted to share with Evie.
Oh?
I have it on very good authority that Fox has agreed to rehire Marilyn to finish Something's Got to Give.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, not without plenty of haggling on both ends, but...
What about you, Walter? Have they hired you back?
Well, no. That's the rest of the story. They decided to go back to the original script, so they got rid of me for good along with George Q.
Well, that's good for Marilyn, right? Thanks, Walter.
Well,
Hey.
Oh,
Jimmy, you missed it. I would have thought you'd be very interested to
Yeah,
know.
I know. I was listening from the bathroom.
What?
That's how I get all my tips anyway. But do you have a minute?
2 months you have been avoiding all of us, and this is the hello we get?
I really am sorry, Em, but this is important.
Evie, should you be making some phone calls to see when they'll be needing you back on the set?
Couldn't leave you now, Em.
Oh, don't be silly. I'll fire you on the spot if it means it'll get you back in the show business.
No.
Where you belong.
Do not do that.
Why not?
Edie, just trust me, okay?
Excuse us?
Look, it was good to see you all again, and good luck on the new Lumet project, Walter.
How did you? Thanks, Ginny.
Here you are, Walter.
Hey, Sheila, wait.
Wait for what?
Just let me do that when I'm ready, all right?
Walter, it's to save you the trouble of having to ask to see the new chef. Here she is right now. Sheila, Walter.
Nice to meet you, sir.
The pleasure's mine.
The pleasure will be yours once you've tried her breakfast.
Well, let me get right to it then.
So, Walter, how's that breakfast treating you?
Everything I remember and more, Denny. You must be a good teacher.
That, must be it.
Must be. Denny, just when is it you plan on telling us whatever it is you have to tell?
What do you mean, Em?
I mean, I can read your face like the book of Ecclesiastes.
What's Em talking about, Denny?
They have a right to know, Denny.
Know what?
That Fox sold this property right from under us.
I got the letter of notice this morning. We have till the end of the month.
And then what?
And then nothing, then no more diner.
And you're just gonna stand around and take this?
Well, what am I supposed to do, Sheila? Up and buy my own place? I don't think the GI Bill covers that.
Denny, I'm real sorry to hear that.
I don't know why none of you don't think to pick up the good book in times like this. If you did, you would know the words that have seen me through time and time again. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Amen, Em. Amen.
Edie, I'm sorry. When I found out, you were the first person I could think needed to know.
What's wrong?
Was she alone?
Yeah.
What happened?
And they're sure?
Yeah, they said it looked like a suicide. That's all I know for
Ginny,
now.
for God's sake, what happened?
Word came in this morning, and Marilyn Monroe is dead.
Thanks. I don't remember ever seeing that door closed during the day. How you doing, Denny? Do you need anything?
You just have a seat, honey. I'll get something going on in a minute, okay? How are you holding up?
I'm all right. But with all Em's talk of heaven and trusting in God, it just doesn't seem right that I can feel as sad as I do right now.
I know, honey. Believe me, I know.
I didn't know she had her plot picked out and everything.
She bought a long time ago, before she even worked here. She loved that place.
Forest Lawn?
Yeah, she has a lot of friends buried there before she was.
That's nice. Oh, Evie, I wasn't sure if you were coming in.
Why wouldn't I come?
Well, Westwood Village isn't that far away.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
What's in Westwood Village?
Marilyn's funeral.
That's today?
Right now. It's a small service, just a few friends. I didn't belong there today.
I would understand if you went over.
I'm right where I need to be. Just like Jimmy.
You sure he wasn't at Em's?
I don't know what I expected. I'm sorry. Can we not talk about Jimmy anymore today?
Evie's right. What would Em want us to be eating on today?
Walter, thank you for being there. I know that you've been busy.
Don't be silly, of course. Actually, there's one reason I had to be here today. I made a promise to Em.
When?
A couple of weeks ago, she called me and she asked me to, she said she'd rather have a writer do it than a lawyer. So
She had a will.
she does now. She must have known she didn't have much time left. She made me promise to come here and read it to you all.
I'm gonna need something stronger than this coffee.
Well, might as well get right into it. She didn't have much to say. She must have felt she had made her feelings clear to all of you prior to her passing. So, really, it deals mostly in her estate.
Estate? What estate?
I was surprised too. Apparently, she had quite a bit of savings, presumably from her previous career, and she had a good idea of how she wanted it distributed. A full half of her net worth, totaling close to $20,000, is to be given to you, Denny.
Me? What do you mean?
Well, she said she hoped it would help you get started on a new place, keep the same staff with Sheila, and maybe hire a couple of new Sheilas while you're at it.
Oh, yeah. There's just plenty of meetings laying around.
I think she meant Negroes.
I get it, Denny. No one has ever, well, aside from you, Denny, no one has ever done something like that for me.
That's because of her they hired you.
Well, you know what? We have to name it after her.
Yeah, well, it beats Denny's.
Right about that. Come on. Denny, let's make these people a feast in her honor.
Hey, congratulations, you two.
Evie, we're gonna need some extra hands. Come on.
There's more where that came from. After a few charitable donations and the costs of her funeral and deducted, she had another $5,000 left over for you.
Me?
She said she wanted to help you get started on your career. However it can be best put to use is up to you.
She said that.
She said some other things too.
Like what?
Mostly the standard Emisms, homespun wisdom, sage advice, Bible verses. On an unrelated note, would you like to go to dinner sometime?
Unrelated.
Some of her sage advice was not to let on, that I was asking you at the urging of a dying old woman. And she felt that somehow that might make you feel obligated or something.
And yet you still decided to share it.
Well, that's how much rejection terrifies me.
Well, you don't have to be afraid. I would love to go to dinner with you. One condition, though.
What's that?
I really do need help with my writing.
Oh, that.
It wasn't just an excuse to get you alone.
I did wonder, but I think I have some time between this and the other project I'm on. Do you have a start?
Well, I think it could be about a girl growing up in a foster home, just looking for a friend.
Like Mary?
Like me, actually. But that's funny. I didn't know that. So, what's this new project you're working on?
It's about nuclear war. So I can work on both. Writing is writing. When can we start?
How's tomorrow night?
I look forward to it.
I'll go check on you back.
There's still one more item. I'll be back there to help you all in a minute. One more. Oh, just the woman I'm looking for.
Me? What for?
I had to drive by her house today to pick it up, but she was insistent that you have this.
What is it? Oh.
There's a note inside for you.
Sorry. Could you, Walter?
Sure. Evie, I wish I had more to leave you, but I know Denny will see to it that you have a job with him as long as you want. You take such good care of people anyway, may as well keep getting paid for it. There's a smiley face after that. But don't forget to take just as good care of yourself. I told you once the Lord has a plan to prosper us and not to harm us, to give us a hope and a future. But we have to be looking for his plan in order to see it. You remember I told you all this wisdom was written in a book. Now you have one for yourself. It's been a great help to me in times of need, and I trust it will do the same for you.
Thought she'd want to be buried with her Bible.
Where Em is, I'm sure they have a few lying around. I'll give you a minute. I'm sure they could use my very limited culinary skills in the kitchen.
Jimmy,
Oh, hey, Lee.
is it over already?
What?
I heard it was a small service, but I'm sure there were lots of photo opportunities, what with everyone on the guest list.
No, it was nothing like that.
And I'm sure you have a deadline looming. Lots of gossip to report, no doubt. You know, I already heard rumors about what really happened. You just eat this stuff up, don't you?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Wish I could have been this right about you a while ago.
Yeah, that probably would have been better.
There's just one question I always had.
What?
That day I let you onto set to take the pictures by the pool, why didn't you ever publish them? I mean, I at least know you well enough by now to say that a bad camera angle wouldn't stop you.
It doesn't matter.
Well, if it doesn't matter, why can't you just answer the question? At least out of professional curiosity.
Fine, Evie, I didn't publish any photos of Monroe because I ran out of film.
And how would someone like you let that happen?
Do you remember who was in the pool before Monroe when they were lighting the pool?
Yes, of course, it was me.
You look good, all right? You look very, very good.
So you were taking pictures of me.
A few more than I intended, yeah. All of them, as it turned out.
It was a good hair day for me that day.
Yeah, it was a good hit day for you.
Okay, well, I have to set the table. We're having a little celebration for her. For Em, I mean.
Yeah, I know.
You should stay.
No, I really shouldn't.
I'm saying, I want you to stay. You could.
Look who made it after all. Nice of you to make an appearance, Jimmy. Can't say Em would be surprised at where she stands on your priority list.
Be nice, Denny. Em would welcome him, whether he was late or never.
So you're staying?
No, I couldn't.
Jimmy, do we need to send another plate?
No worries about it being enough. Trust me.
Sure.
As long as dinner discussion's off the record.
Okay, yeah, you got yourself a deal.
All right, everybody gather around.
Who's gonna say grace?
Well, Em was always the one to do that.
I knew I should have invited that minister for this.
Oh, let me get her Bible. Maybe something in there will help us.
I would offer, but I don't know how white people pray.
Jimmy, what is this?
Oh, that's nothing, just something I
No.
dropped off.
What is it?
What did you write about Marilyn, Jimmy?
Nothing.
Jimmy, maybe you ought to.
No, it's nothing like that at all, actually.
What did he write?
A remarkable woman has passed and been returned to the earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Her grace was outdone only by her graciousness, her loveliness outshone only by her capacity to love. Her work on the silver screen entertained a generation, but it is only to those fortunate enough to have known her that the true loss of her passing can be felt. For those lucky few, we can all attest that such a legacy will live on in the spirit of those she loved, because when the people we love are taken from us, we know they will live on if we never stop loving them. We'll miss you, Em.
Put that in today's paper?
Yeah.
Instead of a piece on Marilyn.
Well, I had some sort of block every time I tried to write about her, and
That was very nice of you, Jimmy.
Couldn't have gone over well with your newspaper.
well, They didn't have much of a choice. They, you see, I slid it in right before the deadline. So they let it slide because of the Wizard of Oz connection, but look, they said they'd fire me outright if I wasn't at Maryland's, okay? And I just hoped Em would understand.
She would.
Anyway, I owed it to Maryland to be there. All morning, I felt sick to my stomach. You know, ever since I found out about it, I haven't slept, I haven't eaten, I haven't... You know, it was getting to the point where towards the end of Marilyn's funeral, I thought I was going to pass out when,
What?
there's this pipe organ. As I played this closing number, I suddenly felt very at peace. You know, like I always would love to come in and I'd see him standing behind the counter.
What was the song, Jimmy?
No, I don't.
No, you can't leave with that and then not sing a few bars.
Yeah, come on, Jimmy.
You're among friends.
You are.
It was, you know, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high.
There's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true.
I think that about does it for the Grace.
Amen.
Amen.